I'm here at Crook Point, an incredible coastal Southern Oregon wedding venue with panoramic views of the ocean, cliffs, and multiple venues for ceremonies and receptions and elopements, and just tons of incredible scenery. Now, Crook Point is a really interesting venue, and it has an incredible history. It's actually a family-owned estate and working ranch that's been in the same family since the 1800s. Across this expansive property, you have beachfront all the way up to the hillside where there are multiple vacation lodging options for friends and family. Now, when you picture yourself getting married at the Oregon coast, you might think about all of the natural scenery, haystack rock, or all of the evergreens lining the beaches. But one of the unique challenges to getting married out here is that most of the coastline in Oregon is public property. That means that people can just wander straight through your event if they want to, but not at Crook Point. In fact, this is one of the only locations across the entire coast that has privately owned beaches for your wedding. You also have a few different ceremony and reception sites that are ideal for anything from an elopement to a micro wedding, all the way up to a big event with 300 people. We're gonna walk through each location and talk about what it could look like for your wedding. Now, here on the Arch Rock main lawn, you have this sprawling amount of space to host up to 300 people for a ceremony and for your reception. As the night progresses, there's all of this cafe lighting built in for ambiance. There's a dance floor, there's a bar, and there's just tons of room here for events of all shapes and sizes. The main lawn comes with this built-in bar, and Crook Point has a preferred list of caterers that you can work with for both food and alcohol. There are some really awesome options on that list. The main lawn also has this beautiful concrete pad which serves as a dance floor. I've seen couples do their first dances here, and as the night progresses, it's a really fun place to bring all of your guests to party. Now, facilities are always a consideration for your wedding venue, and the main event lawn has bathrooms, parking, just about everything that you're gonna need for a large group of people. And that's something that's really impressive about Crook Point. Not only do they have accommodations for your guests to stay overnight, but they have all of the rentals and all of the supplies that you're gonna need for your wedding. They have tables and chairs and plates and silverware. Just about any event rental that you could need comes with the package when you book at this venue. Now, the Arch Rock main lawn is the biggest venue here at Crook Point, but it's not the only one. In fact, there are multiple other locations that you can host a ceremony, a reception, a dinner party, and we're gonna take a look at each one, starting with Cove Beach. Now, Cove Beach is a rare example of private beachfront in the state of Oregon. This is owned by the venue, and it's an incredible location where you can have an elopement, you can have a ceremony, you can party into the night with tiki torches. We've seen all kinds of events out on this beachfront, and there's a lawn up at the top, which is great for a reception. Now, here at Byrdies Beach House, we have another incredible small venue that you could have an elopement or a micro wedding. There's this beautiful lawn space with a sweeping view of the Pacific Ocean, and this actually has access to its own little private beach called Byrdies Beach. Now, the lawn at Byrdies Beach House can accommodate up to 30 people, which means if you wanted to get married under this beautiful tree here, you could have an arbor. It's pet friendly, as you can see, and there's space to do rows of chairs up to the deck. Now, the beach house itself can sleep up to 9 people. There are 2 master bedrooms and a bunkhouse, which means you could host your entire wedding party here. You could have your family stay here. It's super ideal for something like a bachelorette party or a brunch the morning after. Now, the beach house also comes with a generous amount of patio space. And this can be really useful for a dance floor. You could have your dinner up here. There's also a hot tub and a fire pit. So depending on how many people you're gonna host at this location, there are a lot of options for laying out your event here at the beach house. One of my favorite venues here at Crook Point is Mervue Estate. It's a gorgeous house with 4 bedrooms where you can host up to 50 people for a micro ceremony and a reception. There's tons of space here where you could do a brunch, you could have a barbecue the night before your wedding, there are grills, there's a hot tub, there's a ton to explore at this location. Now, my favorite feature at Mervue Estate is this generous amount of patio space. You have a ton of table space where you could host a dinner, and there's just tons of room here to set up a dance floor, a ceremony space, a reception space. It's very configurable, and there are a lot of amenities out here. We've seen things like food trucks parked adjacent to the patio. We've seen tons of people gathered in this spot, and this is really kind of your ideal micro-wedding or elopement destination. Now, as a wedding venue, the Mervue Estate is a lot more than just a ceremony or reception space. You have this entire incredibly beautifully renovated space where you can host your friends, your family for a weekend of activities. There's this beautiful kitchen, there are tons of amenities here, and bedrooms to host up to 8 people comfortably. Now, this open concept kitchen and the living room are also a great backdrop for an indoor event. You know, the Oregon coast can be a little bit inconsistent weather-wise, and depending on how it's looking on the day of your event, you do have the option to bring everyone indoors. They can clear all of the furniture out here, you can put your event rentals inside of this huge interior space, and you can even do a ceremony in this little side room. Out here at Sandstone Point, you have what I consider to be the most beautiful view on the entire Crook Point property. It's a peninsula that goes out into the ocean. It's covered in grassy knolls and foxgloves, and it's just a really cool spot to take couples for a sunset session or for their formal portraits. The Oregon coast is an incredible backdrop for weddings and elopements. And I can't think of a more beautiful location along the coast than Crook Point for yours. If you want to learn more about this venue, then make sure to check out the description where we have a link to their website and an entire write-up on what it's like to get married here. And while you're at it, make sure to check out A Beautiful Union. We're a film house that does weddings and elopements across the West Coast, and we would love to talk to you about getting your wedding filmed at this location. In fact, here's one of my favorite videos that we've ever made at Crook Point. I'll see you in the next one.